Alright, we're back with more Danganronpa another 2. We're gonna do the trial right now. Let's go. Don't know how long these trials are gonna be or how complex, but let's do it. Hopefully it's gonna be really cool. Start the class trial? Yes. Allow me to briefly explain the rules of the class trial. The results of the class trial will be decided purely by your votes. If you manage to identify the blackened, they alone will be executed. Get it wrong, however, and everyone besides the blackened. Oh, no, okay. So let's begin the class trial. One of the people here brutally murdered Yuri. Now then, first and foremost. Wait a minute, Monocro. There's something I want to ask first. Oh ho? And what might that be? Can there be an accomplice in any of these cases? It's a good question. Whether or not there can be an accomplice would be a huge factor in deciding who the culprit might be. Good question indeed. I suppose I didn't specifically address that in the rules. To be blunt, there can be accomplices. What? So it's possible? But in theory, only one person actually gets to leave the island in the end. Of course, the rules even say that only the first murder counts, should there be more. In other words, an accomplice would not benefit if there are 2 or more people involved in the case. Feels like we're levitating. They would gain nothing from assisting the culprit, after all. Even if they were to succeed, they wouldn't be allowed to leave with the culprit. And more importantly, they would face the same execution as the rest of us. He is correct. What's the deal with that? Oh, that. Don't worry about that. That would have been Yuri's seat, and it felt wrong to just leave it empty, you know? You've got an awful sense of humor. Wait, something's off here. What's with the empty seat over there? Who is it? Whose is it? It's exactly what it looks like. An empty seat. There's no need to worry about it. You're all so interested in the tiny questions. That's fine, but shouldn't you be discussing the murder? Right, this place is extremely unpleasant. I'd like to get out of here as soon as possible. It might be the last place you ever see if we don't find the culprit. Don't say such terrible things. Wait, everyone. Do you mind if I say something before we begin? Huh? What is it, Kokoro? I've identified who the culprit is. What? Are you serious? Who is it? Who's the culprit? I know exactly who the culprit is, and I know exactly how they pulled it off. I'd like to give them a chance to speak up. Give yourself up now. At least then we'll be able to accept that you regret it. You'll get found out anyways. It's better to confess than to have it pried out of you. Nobody is confessing. No shit. What kind of idiot would tell the truth? They'd be sentencing themselves to death. Alright then, we'll do this the hard way. So who's the culprit, Kokoro? I can't tell you that just yet. What? Are you screwing around? Just tell us who it is so we can end this. It's like what Sora said. I don't want to be here any longer than I have to be. Would you even be able to comprehend if I told you? I'd be lucky if anyone even believed me. I can already tell some of you are suspecting me. Your observation powers are impressive as always, Kokoro. This is a class trial, and all of our lives are on the line. We need to find a conclusion that is acceptable, so that when we vote for the culprit, there is no doubt. Figure it out as much as you can by yourselves. I'll help out when I can. This is totally suspicious. Hibiki, you don't suspect her when we haven't even started yet. What? What's with this condescending attitude, huh? Do you think I'm stupid? Oh, sister, you're back to your old self. Duh, I wasn't just gonna sit around moping forever. I'm really scared, but I'll do whatever it takes to stay alive. I see, that's good, sister. Let's begin then. Just a moment, may I have a brief moment to speak to everyone? What is it now? Imagine some of you may be suspecting me because I am the mastermind. Your opinions of me are inconsequential, but please, for all of our sakes, I treat me just like another student in this class trial. Death awaits us if we reach the wrong conclusion. I don't want to die either, you know? That's exactly what the culprit would say. Seriously, this is a prime example of what you guys shouldn't be doing. Shinji, I'm sorry, but he's right. If Mikado wanted to act as the mastermind in this, he had plenty of chances to do that before. Everyone here is a suspect, including Mikado and I. The purpose of this discussion is to narrow down that list. I see. I'll do my best then. So can we start now? Where do we even start? If you don't know, try starting with what we know about this case. Do your best, everyone. My life's on the line, too. Should probably begin with what happened in this case. I need to try as hard as I can. Everyone's lives depend on it. Sure. The objective of a non-stop debate is to find a weak point in an argument, then use evidence to refute it. Current progress of the debate will be displayed in the top right corner. Weak points to be looking for will be identifiable as orange. Okay. Because they're weak point, press selection key to fire a truth bullet. Weak points doing truth bullet and shoot. If you need to use shift key. Okay. One weak point in arguments. However, not all the weak points are wrong. Shooting the wrong weak point will lower your health. Health or zero, you'll fail and have to restart. Be cautious, be aware, find the truth for your sake and for everyone else's. Good luck. Oh damn, it's actually spinning. Monochrome file 1. To begin, Yuri died at 7:30. That's right. 30 minutes after the morning announcement. True. I heard that Yuki and Sora were together. Oh shit, hold on. I'm actually skipping. Yes, just this morning, Yuri contacted me. That's arrow keys, right? Yeah. When I saw the message asking for help, I immediately ran to the bell tower. I saw Yuri hanging from a rope. He looked badly injured. And before I could do anything, he got dragged up. He fell back down a bit later. Yuri had cuts all over his body. Some sort of sharp object must be the murder weapon. Okay, that's it. Microfile clearly contains information. Okay, you don't. Oh, you don't take damage anymore. Nice. Okay. Hey, that Yuki and Sora were together at the scene? Okay, yeah. Okay. This is cool. I like this. Nope. That's wrong! Fuck you, Roha! You're wrong! Nice. 100 points. Okay, it's gonna... Okay. Okay, maybe I don't have it saved after every single one. Okay. Shit, it's gonna be annoying. Roha, that's wrong. Yuri couldn't have been killed by a sharp object. If you check the monochrome file, it clearly states the true cause of death. Yuri died due to blood loss and the trauma from the bruises all over his body. In other words, Yuri's cause of death is falling. Oh, I see. There were just so many cuts in Yuri's body, I overlooked it. Then what caused all those cuts? The cuts, they were probably created by that object. And that object is... wires, right? Those cuts were created by sharp wires. Wires? Did you see the many strings attached to the wall along the spiral staircase? When Yuri plummeted towards the ground, he got cut up by the wires that were strung up. That's why we found the wires scattered across the ground near Yuri's body. As they cut him, they also fell down with him. He fell very quickly. That's why the wounds are so thin and yet so numerous. Oh, so that's why he got all those cuts. You didn't even check the monochrome file? Are you kidding me? You call that investigating? I'm sorry. It was an honest mistake. Don't pick on her. Honest mistake? That's really funny to hear when an honest mistake could cost us our lives. How am I supposed to leave my life up to you guys if you make such idiotic mistakes? Leave your life to us? Everyone's lives depend on the outcome of this trial, right? Not just mine, right? If y'all work hard to weed out the culprit, I can just relax and save my energy. But you're gonna leech off our hard work? If I have to do something, I will. I just don't like wasting my time on pointless shit. You were gonna work real hard to save your own hides in the first place anyway. This outcome works out great in the end, for both of us. You're seriously a degenerate ruffian. Have you ever heard the concept of helping someone? Now, everyone, we won't accomplish anything if we let ourselves be distracted by Siobai. Let us carry on, shall we? So if the culprit was planning to kill Yuri just by dropping him, why install all the wires? I'm not sure. I think we'll have to discuss that a bit more. Alright, can everyone tell me what they were doing at the time of Yuri's death? It's like you said earlier, Sora and I saw the death with our own eyes. We were together, so does that count as our alibi? I was alone in my room. Do I really need to tell you? I was just wandering around. Yuri died at 7:30, so everyone excluding Sora, Yuri, Kokoro, and Siobai should have been at the diner. Nope, Yuruko wasn't there. Yuruko, what were you doing at that time? I was at the bell tower too. I met with Sora and Yuki. The bell tower? But that's the scene of the crime, isn't it? Sora and Yuki were there because of the message. What were you there for, Yuruko? What was I there for? Kanade, just to be noted for later, Yuriko might as well have seen the murder with us. You heard the body announcement, right? It only goes off when 3 people see the body. Sora and I saw it first, then Yuriko saw it a little while after. Hold on, Yuki. You said that Yuri was being hoisted by a rope, correct? What? Oh, yeah. Then, isn't it obvious that you two saw the killer? What? Really? If Yuri was being hoisted by a rope from above, then surely the witnesses pursued, hoping to find the culprit, right? I see. The only way down the tower is by going down the staircase. Either the culprit went down, or Sora and Yuki went up. Regardless, they would see each other. Unfortunately, that isn't the case. We went to the top, but we only found Yuriko there. That means Yuriko is the culprit. What? Isn't it obvious? Emma said that the only way to climb the tower was to go up the stairs. You don't have a good excuse like Sora and Yuki, and you've been looking worried since the start. It's clear to everyone that you're the culprit. Wouldn't you agree, sis? Huh? But didn't Yuki say she was a witness? Sis, just think about it. Yuriko doesn't have an alibi, and she had no reason to be up there. I guess when you put it like that, she does sound a little suspicious. Hey, who are you calling suspicious? Yuriko, why didn't you just tell us why you were at the bell tower? Sora and Yuko said they were there because they got the message from Yuri. Give us a reason why you were there, and we won't have to suspect you. That's... I don't know why I was there. What? Are you serious? Yuriko's situation seems complicated. I thought she was the culprit at first too, but after I heard her account, I wasn't so sure. Yuriko, just take it slow and explain your side of the story. As to be expected, the suspicion is all resting on Yuriko. I think we need to discuss this some more before we know if she's really the culprit. Okay. Shinji's account. Okay. I went outside as soon as the Monocru's doors opened, so I could start my morning investigation before breakfast began. Someone attacked me from behind and I lost consciousness. When I woke up, I was at the top of the bell tower, next to Sora and Yuki. Do you have any proof? Like, did somebody see you leave early? What? No, nobody saw me. See, you've got no proof. It's obvious, isn't it? You're the culprit. No, it's not me. I'm not the culprit. Okay. It's a contradiction here. Somebody did see Yuriko this morning. No, she's actually the killer, but I have to present the truth. Okay. No, somebody saw you. Shinji saw you. Okay, let me save the game real quick. Hold on, one second. I will say the save thing does allow me to look at Discord in between. Sorry, I'm reading stuff. Hold on, sorry. Hold on one second. Alright, here we go. We're back, baby. Let's go. Continue. Someone did see Yuriko leave this morning. Shinji, you saw her, right? Oh, me? Well, yes, I definitely saw Yuriko leave this morning. You're all up too early. What do you guys do? Hajime and I go jogging every morning, you know? I woke up so early, I woke up too early, so I was waiting for him in the corridor. Hajime was late because he needed to use the washroom, and I saw Yuriko leave as soon as the Monocru's doors opened. It's like I said, I'm not lying. We've proven that you did indeed leave the ship early. However, can we be sure you told us the truth concerning why you went out early? Huh? Doesn't the fact that you left early actually make you more suspicious? The murder did happen in the morning, you know. And whoever killed Yuri was most certainly not aboard the Mana cruise this morning. That's true, but... So is Yuruko really the culprit after all? Hey, wait a minute, why is everyone accusing me when I haven't done anything wrong? I told you I don't know how or why I was there. I lost consciousness as soon as I left. Assuming Yuruko is telling the truth, we assume that the culprit attacked her and moved her to the bell tower to frame this all on her. But then, there'd be no explanation as to how Yuri was pulled up. Maybe the culprit was hiding somewhere on the top of the bell tower? No, we looked around for a bit and there's no furniture or anything to hide behind. It would be very difficult to hide yourself up there. If Yuruko can't explain herself, then we just have to assume that she's the culprit. Yeah. Oh, wait, that's not true, I'm not... Don't jump to conclusions. Yuruko isn't lying. Kokoro? Listen to her voice. She's telling the truth. I know you're the ultimate psychologist, Kokoro, but how can you be so sure? You're approaching the possibility that Yuruko might be the culprit all wrong. Look at the bigger picture instead of focusing on her. Such as, why was Yuri killed? Why was Yuri killed? Speaking of which, didn't Yuri lock himself in his room after telling the girls to kill him? It'd be awfully difficult to drag that guy out of his room. Hardly. If a girl came to get him, he would have left in a heartbeat. Are you saying that the culprit is a girl? So in the end, doesn't it point to Yuruko anyways? I'm telling you, it's not me. Wait, everyone, if the culprit was a man, wouldn't that make the crime that much more ingenious? The obvious answer would be the culprit is a girl, but if it were a man, they'd be able to exclude themselves from the list of suspects for that reason. But Yuri's the kind of guy who hates being spoken to by another guy. As long as Yuri locked himself in his room, there's no way a man could have gotten him out. Huh? According to what Emma just said, the culprit could be a man if Yuri hadn't been in his room. Yuri locked himself inside his room, but there was a point where Yuri left his room. The thing that made him leave his room. Flashback anagram is about to begin. Yes. Mix and match the cards. Remember an important detail from past events. When the game begins, a variety of cards will be shown on screen. The cards will only be shown for 5 seconds, and this time you should try to remember where each card is located. The cards are hidden. You will be given a few letters at the bottom right of your screen. Objective is to find the missing letters that were displayed on the cards. 2 cards are the same letters to punch in your answer. The cards you pick are the same as the correct answer that will be placed in the bottom left. Now making the correct match to reduce your score. Oh my god, I'm so bad at memory games. Making a match that isn't part of the answer will reduce your health. It's game over. Memorize the cards, mix and match the correct letters, and find the truth. Good luck. That's gonna be so hard later. This is gonna be so fucking hard later. Is it the party, right? Yeah. Yeah, party. Okay, PPIR. Okay, I got it. Cool. Oh, okay. Party. I got it. I understand English. Complete. Nice. Sorry, I'm just checking Discord real quick. I know it's annoying, but let me... Continue. The party last night. Yuri was at the party, wasn't he? And he drank late into the night as well? Oh yeah, he was there. So somebody has attacked Yuri right after the party. Even a man could have done it. Yes, that's true. You're just taking the party into account now? Slow bunch, ain't ya? You asshole, you're not even participating in this trial. What, you want me to help? That'll be 1 million C coins. Give me that and I'll figure it out for you. Shut up, you damn Scrooge. Sora's right that a man really could have attacked Yuri. But that's no reason to rule out girls as potential culprits. We're all aware of that. She's just proposing the possibility that a man could be culprit. She didn't say it impossible for a woman to be the culprit. For a man like Yuri, we cannot deny the fact that he was willing to die for any woman that asked him. Yeah, but I'm curious about something. The party was last night, but Yuri died this morning. If the culprit attacked Yuri after the party, wouldn't that mean the culprit was inside the Mana Cruise during nighttime? The Mana Cruise doors lock after 10 p.m. That's true. If the party happened last night, but the murder happened this morning, then there's a huge time gap missing. So the question is, if someone attacked Yuri after the party, what did they do until morning? But didn't all the people who stayed late to drink return to the Mana Cruise before 10 p.m.?
I don't really remember.
Guess that's surprising. I was the only sober one there. Anyways, everyone got back, but Yuri needed to use the washroom, so he said he'd be late. I get it. That's when someone kidnapped him. No, that doesn't make sense. The murder happened at the bell tower just this morning. The culprit would have been locked in the monocruise and unable to set up his murder. You're assuming things again. There's no rule that says you have to be inside the monocruise during nighttime. What? But the rules state that the monocruise doors close at 10 p.m. and that sleeping outside the dorms is not allowed. That's all. If the culprit never boarded the monocruise, they would be free to roam the island even after the doors locked. And as long as they never fell asleep, they weren't breaking any rules. Being outside the monocruise at night isn't a violation. Is that true? Yes, I've done it before. I wondered what would happen, so I slept all day and stayed out all night. And nothing happened. The doors opened to the monocruise in the morning, and I was able to go back on board. Don't one of the rules say that there's a monster that roams at night? You could have gotten hurt. I was fine. I stayed on the main roads. Nothing happened. Although, maybe something was hidden in the forest. If what Kokoro is saying right now is true, then it's possible that Yuri didn't even board the monocruise last night. According to Iruko, she doesn't know if Yuri made it back or not. So isn't it possible that the culprit attacked Yuri and left him in the bell tower until morning? If that theory is true, then the culprit has to be someone who stayed up to drink last night. What do you think, Iruko? You were one of the people who stayed behind, right? Well, that's true, but it's not me. I arrived at the monocruise with everyone else. About that, none of us were really sober, so I don't think any of us remember that. Huh? They were all as drunk as skunks. Indeed, and none of them can recall a thing. Speaking of which, I don't remember seeing so much as a drop of alcohol when we were setting up the party. Oh, that's right. And yet there was alcohol around the beverages when the party started. I believe this is no coincidence. Are you saying the culprit brought alcohol to the party to get everyone drunk and forget their memories of what happened at the party? Wait, is it possible that someone committed murder on impulse because of their intoxicated state? No. You can tell by looking at the crime scene that someone put a great deal of thought into it. You can't pull that off intoxicated. If the culprit brought alcohol, does it mean it was one of the people who prepared the party? Who are the organizers? Sora, Yuki, Hajime, Mikado, Iruko, and myself. Just those 6. Eh? And once again, Iruko is suspicious.
So the culprit is someone who helped organize the party and stayed up late to drink last night, and they would have to be sober. Is that what you're saying?
Hey, the only person who wasn't drinking late last night was Iruko. She said she would stay sober because she had to chaperone us back to the monocruise. No, I mean, that's true, but the evidence all lines up. Iruko, can you explain what happened in more detail? We just want to believe you. You just stop talking? Aren't you taking this a little too far? Look, I told you I'm innocent. To be accused as a culprit because of some dumb coincidences. I still defend myself, you know. Listen to me before you start talking.
Your battle showdown. Yeah, sure. Argument to advance the argument. When towards you in 5 lanes, your objective is simple. Shoot down the argument using the bow you're given. Oh, we get a bow. Use directional keys to change lanes and use the selection button to fire. But zip here will only show for 1 to 3 seconds. Fail to hit them within that time and you will lose health and score. So by shooting down your opponent's words, you will drain their health. More health than your opponent. Some base opponent of a weak argument. To hit that weak point with a refutation arrow. Refutation is not equipped by default, so you have to do that yourself. Oh, I have to equip it with S? Who doesn't know what else? Okay. Oh, I have to load the arrow. Holy shit. Okay. This is gonna be rough. Start with 1. 1 arrow.
I know I have to accept your unjust act. Oh, really is the culprit. Do you think? Oh my god. Okay, I'm proud of this. Wait until the party. The culprit may have waited until the party because of the alcohol. We said before they could use it to fog everyone's minds to easily execute their plan. The fact that Yuri's even at the party may be an indication it was cooperating with the culprit. So you're saying that? Oh my god, I can't read these. The culprit, I would never do that.
Oh wait, I have to click cast, right? Okay. Sorry, I have to focus on this. I can't read this dialogue. I'm sorry, guys. You're gonna have to read it yourself. I can't, because I will not. Move it. Sorry, guys. I can't focus. I won't be able to do it. I can read the in-betweens, but I can't read that dialogue because it's coming vertically, and by the time I read it, I'm taking damage, so sorry. Okay. Oh my god, this is so fucking rough, dude. This is a rough minigame. There we go. Oh, that's a rough minigame, man. Okay. That's a rough fucking minigame, man. That minigame is rough. I'm gonna say that. That's much harder than the other one. And then the sword battle. It's a cool version, but like... Alright, sorry. Let's go. Oh, let's go. That's gonna be really rough later. No, it's not just because of that one thing, Iruko. Seobai told me he saw you going to the bell tower this morning. What? He also said you were holding a long rope in your hands. A long rope? Like the one Yuri was hooked to? You were telling the truth, right, Seobai? Huh? I was indeed telling the truth. Never thought she would be so involved with the case. I really was wondering what she was planning to do with that rope. Now that I think about it, that was a really important piece of evidence. Wait, he's lying. Seobai isn't telling the truth. I really was attacked as soon as I left the Mana Cruise. He's trying to slander me. He's the damn culprit. Even if you say that, all the evidence is stacked against you. It's almost undeniable at this point. Maybe you're just an idiot, Iruko. What? Why are you all accusing me? Why me? Seobai's account is by far the most damning of all the proof presented so far. How do you plan on defending yourself from such an accusation? Iruko, are you really the culprit? Seobai is lying. What? Sora, did Seobai mention when he saw Iruko leave? That's... Iruko left as soon as the doors opened, so it's gotta be 7 a.m. on the dot. I was on the second floor, in the library at the time, and I saw Seobai walking up to the third floor through the crack in the door. Even if you had seen Iruko leave, there was no way you could have known where she went. And didn't you say she was holding a rope? Seobai, were you lying to me? See, caught me. Sorry about that, but I had to test all of you. Test us? Like I said, if you can clear the class trial for me, then I'll be set. I was testing to see if you could really do it without me involved. What? Are you serious? Just a little bit of perjury, that's all. I didn't think Miss Ultimate Psychologist would figure it out. Well, whatever. I'm counting on you guys. You asshole! What is your problem? Settle down, Shinji. Violence is against school rules. Oh, so Seobai just said like, oh, fuck it, I'll just lie. Yeah, she brought a rope. Dude, I thought it was legit, like, gonna matter, but no. He just fucking lied, okay? Calm down, Shinji. You can beat him up after we get out of here. That proves my... Hold on. It proves my innocence, right? Seobai's the one who lied, so he's the most suspicious. Oh, I don't know about that. He might have lied, but you're still the most suspicious person here. But we're focusing so much on Iruko. Shouldn't we talk about this a little more? No, Iruko is definitely the killer. I don't want to suspect my friends. I want to believe in everyone. Well, this is quite the quandary. We seem to be split straight down the middle. Split, you say? Then I propose a proper debate on the matter. Please remain calm as your seats are rearranged. Oh my god, we're gonna do scrum debate. Whether Yuruko is the culprit or not. We still have to talk about this. I need to convince everyone. Oh, we're doing scrum debate. Let's go. This is the best part of V3. Scrum debate is a debate where two teams with opposing arguments fight it out. The overall objective is to convince the opposing team that your argument is correct. Scrum debate will take 2 phases to complete. The first phase is the debate itself. You'll be presented with the topic of the debate itself. Then you will see the opinions of each team, the opposing team on the left and yours on the right. Remember, the opposing team will present their arguments on the matter one by one. One at your side. Each tiny rocket represents a member of your team. Each of your team members have a keyword. These keywords are crucial to winning the debate. Seeing the opposing team's argument, mix and match their argument with a keyword from one of your teammates. For example, if someone on the opposing team were to say the narrator is the best boy, you look for the narrator keyword on your team. Actual keys to switch between teammates. Use the selection key to present the keyword. As you've been mix and matched each keyword with the opposing team's arguments, you will enter the crouch bind phase. During the phase, you will make the final push to full counter the opposing team. What you need to do is mash the button shown on your screen. For example, if it displays A, then you press the A key as fast as you could on your keyboard. The screen will change after a certain amount of time, so be aware of that. Stay focused and win this debate for everyone's sake. Good luck. Okay. Solar versus Luna. Team Luna. Why is he on our side? What the fuck? Why is Siobai on our side? He just lied. He just lied his ass off to prove it. This is a weird one. Once a party fits all the criteria. So to figure out if the party is even relevant to this case. So there has to be a woman. No, he doesn't. We've already established that the killer could be a man or a woman. Yuko's the only one with a super suspicious alibi. Yuko and Siobai don't even have alibis. Why are you accusing me? Yuko's the only one to set up drinks at the party. False. Yuruko is not the only one to set up the drinks for the party. Kanade is kind of crazy. Take advantage of the fact we were drunk to forge our alibi. Hey, Kyoko was the only one who wasn't drunk. Shouldn't we suspect the others too?
Yuruko's our only suspect. There's nothing else we can do.
We haven't even discussed the possibility of another suspect besides Yuruko. I just realized she has a, billiard ball hairpin. C, A, where's A? C. Okay. Okay, I'm really bad at this. Okay, oh my god. Oh my god, I have to mash this shit. Holy shit. Why is Siobai on our side? I don't understand. Why is he on our side? Okay. Why is he on our side, man? For this. He lied about the fucking evidence. Okay. Alright, whatever.
I suppose we cannot reach that conclusion just yet.
It's just wrong to vote for Yuruko as the killer when there's still so many questions about this case. We need to discuss this some more.
Sora.
Alright, let's put aside our culprit accusations for now and focus on the other mysteries of this case.
What, so we're back to square one?
Unlike a regular trial, we'll die if we get so much as a single thing wrong. We need to keep discussing until we reach a conclusion that everyone can agree with. I mean, Kokoro, don't you know who the culprit is? Can't you just tell us and call it a day? You all believe Yuruko is the killer right now. Would you really be able to accept my answer if I name someone that isn't Yuruko? Are you saying Yuruko isn't the culprit? Okay, so instead of thinking about who the culprit is, let's talk about how they did it.
How they did it?
We aren't sure if our culprit attacked Yuri this morning or during the party. Have you forgotten? What did the killer do before they killed Yuri? Before killing Yuri, is she talking about that thing that was on Yuri's body? That thing was... Oh, was it the hook? Okay. Are you talking about the hook that was embedded into Yuri's left calf?
Yeah, Yuki said it was there when you first saw him this morning, right? Even if Yuri was drunk, he wouldn't have just let the culprit hook him up like that without putting up a fight. The culprit would have restrained him by any means possible. Are you saying we should discuss that? How'd the culprit restrain Yuri? Let's see.
Spin that shit.
Oh.
It's got to be the anesthetics, right? Unless we're mistaken, and the anesthetics were used on Iruko.
Even though Yuri was drunk, Yuri still would have put up some sort of fight. A blunt weapon was probably used.
Nah, they couldn't risk killing Yuri there by accident.
Regardless, something was used to immobilize Yuri, but what was used? Maybe he was drunk enough to pass out. Wait, no, probably not.
Oh, I have to choose. Okay. I think Killer used to kill Yuri. There must be a clue somewhere. Okay. Oh shit, hold on. Shit, I fucked it up. That's not agree. Is that agree? No, agree is blue. Yeah, agree is blue, right. No, we know it wasn't a blunt weapon. Yeah. Must be the anesthetics, but I think that was used for Iruko. Right? I'm not sure. Okay. Let's continue. No, Hibiki, I have evidence our culprit didn't use something as simple as a blunt weapon. Found traces of liquid anesthetic on the floor at the bell tower.
An anesthetic?
Kanade told me it was the one that they usually use during major surgeries.
That's right, it was available at the infirmary.
With that, I see no reason to doubt that the killer used the anesthetics to subdue Yuri.
Wait, do you think that might be the same thing the culprit used when they attacked me? Maybe, but that's beside the point, so shut up, Iruko!
Damn, Kanade.
Alright, fine. There's one more thing I know about the anesthetic. The one thing I know is...
Is it her account? Yeah. Kanade told me she went to check the infirmary after she found out that an anesthetic was involved. She discovered that the single syringe had disappeared.
A syringe? That's right, with that syringe you'd also be able to calculate exactly how long you want someone to stay unconscious. Exact measurements are labeled right on it.
Yeah, okay, that's great and all, but how do you know all of that?
I watch a lot of medical dramas. Is there something wrong with that?
No, I'm not saying that, but nobody found a syringe or anything like that while investigating, right? So that means...
The culprit still has the syringe with them right now. Should we pat everyone down? I doubt our culprit is stupid enough to have it on them. They probably hid it somewhere. If they used a syringe like that, they could have subdued Yuri even if he wasn't drunk.
Something that's bothering me. When Sora and I last saw Yuri, he said, "Finally, a woman has come to kill me. I'm glad to have achieved my dreams."
He said that as he was about to die? That's creepy.
So if you said that, does that mean our culprit is a woman after all? What's bothering me is that Yuri told us he would cooperate with a female culprit, right?
And still, why did the culprit subdue Yuri and wait for him to be drunk? They didn't need to. That's what I was trying to say earlier. Yeah, that's a good point. Doing all that would only create more evidence, right?
In view, if the culprit was male, his only chance to kill Yuri would have been through the party. And yet still, the blank spot is unfulfilled for the time period between then and nighttime. Assuming the culprit is female, they could have simply gotten Yuri from the monochrooms at any time. However, if that was the case, she wouldn't have had enough time to set up the crime in the morning. Of course, in this situation, the time period between the party and nighttime is still unexplained.
About what happened before nighttime, isn't it possible that's when the culprit prepared the whole crime?
What?
Kokoro said that someone can stay out all night as long as they don't fall asleep, right? Since we can't explain how the culprit could have created their crime so early in the morning, we can just assume they set it all up at night.
That'd be like almost 9 hours, though. Did they really need that much time to prepare a murder?
All they'd have to prepare is the hooks, rope, wire, anesthetic, and that's all, right? Wait, do you really all think Yuri was just lifted up using just a rope?
Huh?
I understand now. Understand now. I knew something was off when you all started accusing Iruko. You've all been mistaken from the beginning.
Mistaken? What are you talking about?
The killer didn't just simply drop Yuri to his death after dragging him up the bell tower. Then what'd they do? Oh, I see. It was so obvious in hindsight, but I completely missed it. Think. Yuri was short. but it's still physically impossible for someone to drag him all the way up the bell tower. I doubt even Shinji could do it. Really? Isn't there something the culprit could have done? Yes, it is possible, but our initial assumption about the culprit pulling Yuri up was wrong. Our initial assumption was wrong? So what? What's the problem? I don't know. Were we really wrong in our initial assumptions? The culprit didn't pull Yuri up. They moved him. Using what? What method did they use? I definitely saw something that could explain this, but what? You look out of shape. Kanade's explanation is correct. Wow, okay. There's a consent from someone else. Think, Sora. You've seen the evidence. I'll help you remember if you want. Logic Refresh. What the hell? The Logic Refresh minigame is a minigame in which your fellow students will assist you. There are a total of 5 lines to navigate, similar to the Rebuttal Showdown. You navigate as 5 lines using the arrow keys. You make sure that you're not selecting the lanes that have words coming down them. If you're on a lane with a word on it and it crosses the line, you will take damage. You have to collect the truth bullets that will also be flying by. It's a total of 3 truth bullets to collect. In short, avoid normal words and collect the truth bullets by being in the correct lane. Oh my god, okay. So now it's a bullet. Now it's like actually dodging bullets, okay. Okay. After completing this phase, you'll be shown the 3 truth bullets you collected. Select the correct truth bullet that confirms your fellow student's argument. With this, you'll be 1 step closer to the truth. Good luck. Okay, that's weird. Okay, I'll do it. Alright, here we go. Minigame time. Okay. Logic refresh. Yuri was dragged up the tower quickly. We've all been assuming that it's all done by traces about how the rope alone. Oh my god. We could use another method. Cobra Sora used another method. Focus. Definitely, there was definitely something at. Oh. This? Life jacket, right, yeah. Did they use like a rock or something? Oh, I thought it was, okay, so they used a rock or something. Save game. Okay. All right. Okay. Yuri wasn't dragged up simply using a rope. In reality, was he pulled up as a reaction to something? Huh? What are you saying? There's a hook embedded into Yuri's left calf, which is attached to a long rope. Initially, we thought someone just pulled Yuri up the tower with that rope. But if you think about it, it's physically impossible for someone to do that on their own. Huh? Are you sure? I also found something with Setsuka that should prove the fact that our culprit used another method. The life jacket, right? Yes, someone left it in the bushes just outside the bell tower. It wasn't just any life jacket, though. This life jacket had a hook embedded into it. The same hook that was embedded into Yuri's left calf. Not only that, but the hook on the life jacket was also attached to a rope. However, the rope was cut. So, what does that mean? Oh, I see. So at one point, the hook embedded in Yuri's left calf was connected to the life jacket. If the culprit had jumped down from the bell tower with the life jacket on, it would pull Yuri up, too. Every reaction has an equal and opposite reaction. Exactly, that has to be what the culprit did. Wait, but if the culprit jumped off the bell tower, then why was Yuruko still at the top? Well, according to Yuruko, she was attacked this morning and woke up there. And Yuki and I saw Yuri before he was killed. The culprit was probably waiting at the top, along with the unconscious Yuruko, of course. This plan would explain why only Miss Sora and Yuki only found Yuruko at the top of the bell tower. She was nothing more than a red herring. The true culprit couldn't have been up there. After all, the culprit would have had to jump off the tower for Yuri to ascend to the top. I mean, I get it in theory, but would he really be able to be pulled up so easily? Huh? What do you mean? There's tons of other factors involved, like friction and whatnot. Sora, do you remember the bell ringing when Yuri got pulled up the bell tower? Yes, I also think I know why the bell rung. When the culprit jumped up and Yuri was pulled up, his body must have hit the bell. The evidence that proves that is... Oh, the traces on the bell. The culprit threaded the rope through the hanging bell and used it like a fulcrum. I'm not very good at drawing, but I'll try to illustrate it. Aroha, may I borrow your sketchbook for a moment? Yeah. They used it as like a weight so they could slow their descent. This is how the culprit did it. As you may or may not know, the hole at the top of the bell is far too small for the hook to fit through. The culprit probably only attached the hooks to the rope after he threaded through the hanging bell. It's really high up. How is that even possible? I see, but sorry, you should really come see me for advice on drawing better. But how did the culprit adjust the length of the rope? It seems easy in theory, but they could have very easily fallen to their death with a simple mistake. I believe they had already practiced this method beforehand. If you look at the marks on the bell, they don't look shallow enough to be made after only a single use. Are you suggesting the culprit practiced their murder multiple times before the actual crime? Yes, the hooks that were connected to Yuri couldn't have passed through the hole in the bell. Because of this, the culprit would never fall. The marks on the bell are probably caused by the friction created by the rope. Of course, the marks were also created because of the hooks scraping against the metal. After the culprit found the correct amount of rope and landed on the surface, he just had to cut the rope. Doing so would make Yuri fall due to the shifting weight balance. That is the truth of the crime scene that Yuki and I witnessed. Hold on a second. Even if the culprit accounted for the length of the rope, the bell tower is far too tall. If they fell while hanging from just a hooked life jacket, the force from hanging would dislocate their shoulders. Sakade says the culprit would have injured himself if he didn't have anything to cushion the impact. Something to cushion the impact. It must be why the culprit installed that object. That object is... the wires? Well, the wires supposed to... Oh, it's supposed to slow it down? Earlier, Emma was wondering why the culprit spent all that time installing the wires, but I bet the reason they did it answers the problem Kanade suggested. The wires? Yuri was cut up by wires as he was dragged up at high speed. The resulting friction might have had an impact on the culprit's landing. Oh, I see. The wires weren't there to kill Yuri. They were just there to soften the culprit's landing. That definitely explains why the culprit went through all that work to set them up. There's no denying it. There's something bothering me. If the wires are sharp enough to cut through flesh, why didn't they cut through the rope? If it really was that sharp, it would have, right? That rope was no normal rope. It was made with special materials. It's a really tough one you can grab at the U-Mart. I thought it was interesting, so I took note. Can't say I was expecting it to be used in a murder. So in the end, Yuruko really isn't the culprit? That's what I've been trying to say. I'm a victim here too, you know. That sucks. What do you mean that sucks? Now we have to suspect everyone else besides you as the culprit. How are we supposed to narrow it down and find the real killer now? Our prime suspect is innocent. I see, so we're right back at the start. No, not all the way back at the start. We did learn something from our previous discussion. The culprit must have been outside the Mana Cruise at nighttime yesterday. Eh? How do you know that? Think about it for a second. The culprit has to adjust the rope length and everything. They needed enough time to do something like that. Being outside with only Yuri would give our culprit plenty of time to set everything up. It's a good point. Someone would have definitely noticed if this stuff was being done in the morning. Furthermore, there was a misconception that we couldn't be outside at nighttime. The culprit used that to their advantage to test out their murder plan. Yeah, it's kind of weird that we all thought that when Kokoro over here already knew. Well, I only stayed up all night once. So based on the previous discussion, we can pretty say with certainty that the culprit is a man. As we already know, a woman wouldn't have to use such a complicated method. The culprit must have known that if Yuri died, we would all assume the culprit was a woman. The fact alone was his alibi. Haha, a clever ploy, I must admit. So now that we know that, we can just narrow it down with all the guys here, right?
In that case, it's easy. It's Seobai and Mikado. Seobai doesn't have an alibi, and Mikado is the mastermind.
Do you even listen to me? I told you not to have any bias against me in this trial. It should be unquestionably clear that I'm giving it my all here to unveil the truth.
He's asleep.
Huh? Seobai, were you just sleeping the whole time? Huh? Still not over? You're insane. Our lives are at stake right now and you just decide to fall asleep? You guys already have everything you need. I know the full story, but I know you guys can figure it out. I haven't been getting a lot of sleep recently, so just wake me up when it's over. He's insane. Anyways, what you're suggesting is unlikely, big bro. The culprit would have had to stay up late last night. It's the only way they could have gotten the chance to kidnap Yuri. Both Mikado and Seobai weren't part of that group.
But can't Mikado use magic? We've all seen him flying around like nothing. He could easily fly around and kidnap him, right?
Nox's second law, all supernatural and preternatural agencies are to be ruled out. Nox's, what's now? What the heck is that? An absolute code of logic and detective fiction that cannot be violated. It explicitly forbids supernatural or any other unrealistic phenomena from interfering with murder. Oh yeah, I've heard about that in a few anime. I will give you my most sincere, empathetic vow that I do not use my magic for matters relating to murder. Are we just supposed to take your word for it? How can we trust the words of the mastermind? As I'm left with no other options, I suppose it's the only way. Monocro, I humbly request you to add a new rule. Mikado Sonoji cannot use magic for any purpose related to a murder case.
Are you sure about that rule?
Yes, I've already made a vow to seal my magic beforehand, regardless. Besides, the simple concept of my magic seems to be hindering the progression of this trial. I'd like to use this opportunity to clarify my position in the killing game.
Very well. The regulations will be updated as soon as this trial is over. Mikado Sonoji cannot use magic for any purpose relating to a murder case. As a reminder to you, Mikado, failure to comply with this new rule will result in execution.
I understand completely. You have my gratitude.
So, Mikado can't be the culprit.
Why are you trying to make this problem harder than it really is? The answer's already out there. There's only one other person who fits the conditions for this crime. Huh? Think carefully about the conditions the person would need to meet to be the culprit. Once you do that, the answer is obvious. Conditions to be the culprit? The conditions we brought up were... The culprit must have been one of the people who stayed at the party late last night, and he needed to be part of the group that prepared the party. And of course we figured out that the culprit must be a man. The man who stayed up late and helped prepare the party. We'll list them one by one. The people who stayed late last night were Setsuka, Hajime, Shinji, Emma, and Yuruko. The group that prepared the party was Setsuka, Hajime, Yuki, Mikado, Yuruko, and me. Then the only person who could be the culprit is... Hajime, right? Is it that easy? Was it you? Hajime Makanouchi? Okay. Is it again the blonde-haired athlete? Fucking hell. Dude, are they really doing the blonde-haired athlete and did it again? Holy shit. Damn, my man Hajime. I mean, I kind of guessed it was Hajime. The only reason why I guessed it was Hajime, right, was Shinji's account. Because he said Hajime was late. But he also said Hajime was in the bathroom. So, Hajime would have had to have been in there. Yeah, that's the problem. So maybe it's not him? Maybe it's not Hajime? Although, it's the only person it can be, right? Unless it's not. Because there's still more evidence we haven't talked about yet, which is... Because there's a wound on the right calf as well. I'm confused. Maybe it's Hajime, maybe it's not.
I mean, Hajame's the best suspect right now, so I'm gonna assume it's Hajime. Man, blonde-haired athletes don't last long in this series. All right, we're gonna end it here. Next time we'll finish the trial. See you guys then.